How we doing, everybody? Duncan Deli here, and today I have an interesting video to show you guys. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. I've heard a lot of people complain throughout the year about how line changes are really bad. Players aren't changing properly. Line changes are simply screwing you over and not working in your favor. So I'm going to show you guys the most efficient ways to change your lines. Not only just when you should be changing your lines, but also how to change your lines. Because a lot more goes into it than just simply putting out the line with the most energy. If you guys enjoy content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you guys want to learn more stuff like this personally, one-on-one with me, make sure to sign up for Duncan University. Link is in the description. And without further ado, let's get into it. So first, I want to get into exactly how do you change your lines, just so that way you guys know, because they are different based on what controls you use. So I currently am on Xbox, so for me, this is how my controller looks. And the B button is used for offensive line change, and X is used for defensive line change. However, I use skill stick. So in case anyone uses total control, it is going to be right on the D-pad and left on the D-pad for changing your offense and defensive lines. So that's the difference. Very important to note that. Now, I will say, when it comes to changing your lines when you're skating around trying to protect the puck at the same time, it is going to be a little bit easier to do this on skill stick, because you can have your left thumb on your left stick while your right thumb is on the buttons B and X, or if you're on PlayStation, I believe it is circle and square. You can change your lines while easily moving around. Now, however, if you're on PlayStation, it's a little bit more difficult, especially on total control. Because of the way that the controller is set up, you have the joystick where the D-pad is and the D-pad where the joystick is. So if I'm on PlayStation, and let's say I'm playing on total control, right? My offensive and defensive line change is going to be left and right on the D-pad. However, you only have one thumb. So unless you're playing claw, which is almost impossible for NHL here, you would almost have to reach your thumb, your right thumb, all the way across your controller to hit the D-pad and change your lines. So for that reason, again, this is the reason all year why I've used skill stick, and I'm very shocked that a lot of other people aren't using it as well, because it really is just such a huge, it's such a huge skill gap in being able to do these line changes properly. It makes so much of a big difference on your breakouts, on the way you play defense, on the way that you're able to get 2-on-1s, even just the way that you're able to hit people, because if you don't have energy, it's a lot harder to bump people, especially with that being the meta this year. So I would highly suggest that you guys try using skill stick with this, as it is by far just the most convenient way to line change. Using B and X is a lot easier than using the D-pads. But enough about this. It's time that we get into how to actually do it in game. So let's go ahead and jump over to that. All right, so on this play here, I'm going to make a nice play on defense to regain that puck possession. And I'm going to send my forwards up the ice to get a change. And then right as I pass it from Bonk, I'm going to get a change on defense, just in case if I make a mistake on offense. I still want to make sure that my defense is able to get their lines changed, because God forbid I make a mistake and he gets another counterattack. I got to make sure that my defense is just as energized as my offense. Now for this one, once again, I'm going to make a line change right when I'm able to regain puck possession. And you're going to see me do this a lot, where I saucer it all the way down the ice, because I noticed that that's just the most effective way to get the puck down to my players when I do my line changes. But what's going to be really important to note here, I want you guys to notice right here, I'm going to saucer the puck up to Nathan MacKinnon. Now, Nathan MacKinnon is on my first line, right? However, I'm going to keep him on the ice, because I see that green bar right there is about 75% energy with gold wheels. It's not worth it to take him off of the line here. Even though I already changed my first line, it makes more sense to just keep him on the ice and give him a chance to burst through the only two defenders up there, because as you see, his entire team is stuck in my zone. So I have a 3-on-2 opportunity here. So this is a time where it makes more sense to just bring the puck into his zone as quick as possible and try and take advantage of the 3-on-2 rather than making sure I get a full line change. And then, as you can see, once he receives the puck, I'm able to zoom by and get a perfect backdoor chance. Unfortunately, the goalie stops it, but again, 9 times out of 10, I scored just because of that line change. So as you guys are going to see on this one here, I have the puck behind my net with my forward, and I want to make sure that I don't lose the puck with him, because God forbid, if I did, he's going to go off the ice because I changed my line. So it is very important to know if you're changing your line with the forward or changing your line with a defenseman, because that makes a huge difference on whether or not what you should do. If I have the puck with my forward here and I lose it, he's just going to go off the ice, and now he has like a 3-on-2 in my zone for no reason. And if I did lose the puck there, I will make sure to manually control that guy and bring him back into my zone to make sure he doesn't go off the ice with the puck in my zone. So for this rush here, I'm going to change my defensive lines. Again, remember, I have Doughty with the puck there, so I got to make sure I don't lose it, or else he's going to go off the ice and he's going to have the puck in my zone. And due to that big saucer pass down the board, able to get a huge rush and almost score another backdoor, all just because I did that line change. Now, when he came back down the ice, my defense was ready for it. You see why that's important, to make sure that your line changes don't screw you over. Because God forbid his goalie makes a huge save like that. Now I have someone back that's full energy, able to stop the counterattack. Because obviously there's luck involved in hockey. Not every single play is guaranteed to go in the net unless it is a glitch goal, which obviously one-timers are not. So that's going to be very important to note when it comes to line changing effectively, is that sometimes it's better to play it safe rather than take it risky, but sometimes it makes more sense to be riskier. So that's the big skill gap, line changing effectively, is that there is a skill gap of knowing when to play it safe and when to play it risky. So let's take this for example. We have 10 seconds left in the period, and I see my line is completely dead. And there's only 5 seconds left on this clock, but I know that my guys are too tired to even get up the ice within 5 seconds at that energy level. So I'm going to swap out my lines real quick, just to give me enough time to get I would say like we'll give it like a 30% chance of going in. With Silver Snipe, probably about a 30% chance that goes in the net. And again, I get that chance all just because I did my line change with 5 seconds left in the period. It, like, just that one small line change gave me that entire rush. So right now I accidentally pass it back into my zone, but that's okay, because now's a perfect time to change all of my lines and make sure they have the freshest feet on the ice as possible. Now that I have a full line change, I'm able to safely bring the puck in the zone with no worry in the world of getting counterattacked. I have everyone where they need to be. And again, if I don't do my line change there, maybe he gets the puck and counterattacks me, and my defense is dead and they're just not able to make a play and they're not fast enough to stop him. So this is an example of me just recognizing that I want my best players on the ice, especially if they have the most energy on my team. So right there, even though I have no real reason to reset, I can make a rush with my fourth line if I want to. It makes more sense to do a line change there, get my gold wheels wingers out there, because there's a much higher chance that I can score with McDavid and MacKinnon on the ice. And as you saw there, I had a wide open grade A chance in the slot. Unfortunately, the goalie stopped it, but it just shows you that would probably not happen had I hadn't changed my line. Now, as important as it is to recognize when you should be changing your lines, it's also important to know when you should not be. And as you see right here, I have a wide open rush here. Hold on, let's take it back real quick. You guys are going to see here when I make that hit with Bonk, I have Mike Modano, who has 97 speed. You can see here my first and second line, both are in orange energy. So it's not really smart to change to them. It doesn't really make sense to. And sure, my fourth line has more energy than my third line currently, but is it enough of an upgrade where it's really worthwhile changing? Not really. No one on my fourth line has any abilities on, so there's nothing I'm really missing out on by swapping these lines right now. And I have an opportunity to make a huge counterattack with Modano, who I know it's hard to see because the line is there, but he's got full energy pretty much. So that's important to note. Even though my line on my third line is a little bit down on energy, Modano is basically full energy. So everyone on your team has their own individual energy bar. Just because the energy for your line as a whole is down, that doesn't mean every player on that line has low energy. Very important to note. So because of that, Modano is able to make a cutback. He makes a bad poke check, and I get a backdoor one-timer. Unfortunately, he's able to block up the pass. But again, that play doesn't happen if I don't make the decision that, okay, I'm not going to change my line here. I have a chance to just go full speed ahead when he's maybe not expecting it, and it gets me a backdoor wide open there to potentially score a goal. I'm so happy. I want to show you guys this clip here. This is like my favorite one that I got of why line changing is so crucial. And a lot of people run into this issue where you do line changes and your guys just refuse to get off the ice. And I'm going to show you guys how to potentially fix that. So Svechnikov here, I know it's hard to tell, but number 37 is on my third line. And currently I have out my third line according to the game. However, Gretzky's on my second line with no energy, and he's still on the ice forechecking. So you guys are going to see here, coming up in just a moment, I'm controlling Gretzky when I did that line change. I quickly make sure my third line is out. And as you can see, Gretzky is still forechecking. Now, a lot of people run into this issue like, okay, I just changed my line to line 3. Why is Gretzky not coming off the ice? How the game works, especially when it comes to forwards, is if they are currently in the animation of forechecking a player, like if you have aggressive strategies and they are currently forechecking, they will not come off the ice, no matter what. No matter what you do, they will not leave this player. So once I recognize this, I'm going to pull Gretzky back, and I'm going to skate him all the way out of the zone, and then, again, make sure to put out my third line. And then he will finally get off of the ice. Which, again, didn't really affect this goal as I end up scoring anyway, but just to show you guys, like, okay, in case I didn't score that, and now he has a chance to come back into my zone with a counterattack, now at least I'm not put in a position where he has the puck in my zone and I have a 6-foot-tall centerman with 0 energy left. So that's what's really important, and a big skill gap between the good players and the best players is the best players always want to make sure they have their best skaters on the ice at all times with full energy, and are always aware of how much energy their players have on the ice currently. I want to show you guys this one to show you what a bad line change could potentially look like. So I get the puck with McDavid. You can see he's got no energy, so I want to get him off the ice. However, you could see how hard he's forechecking me here, and he almost gets the puck from me there and has an easy potential chance to score. Now, luckily, I am able to finally get the puck out and get it back in his zone, so luckily I didn't give up a goal because of it. But if he was able to win that 50-50 battle in the corner, I was 100% losing the puck battle, and he was going to score. That's going to wrap things up for this one. If you guys enjoyed the content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.